Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome on this beautiful Shabbat morning. We begin, as we often do, with words of togetherness. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is for all of us to come together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet do that again. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. You can repeat after me. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum, Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum, Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum, Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is so nice to see all of you here this morning. It is a beautiful day, and every day that comes after a night full of rain always feels like such a bright and beautiful, way to start Shabbat and start this weekend, given how much we always need that rain. I am Rabbi Hyatt, for those of you who I don't know who are joining us, and that was Cantor Sachs. And I think she's on screen. That's Cantor Sachs with us right now. And we're really excited to pray with you. For those of you that might be looking at the screen thinking, wow, who is that rabbi that I don't recognize? Yes, you are correct. Different hair for this week. We read in this week's Torah portion about the requirement that we have to let our land lie fallow, to have a sabbatical year. And so I too am having a sabbatical for my hair. We are going back to our roots and our natural color right now in quarantine. So we begin by just taking a deep breath. I guess it's not just this week, it's going to be for a while. We take a deep breath and we get ourselves in the spirit of prayer and in Shabbat, and we read together these words of intention. I enter this sacred space to voice the longings of my heart in prayer. Together, in sacred company, I offer my love to the Holy One. I devote myself this morning to psalm and song, study and prayer. May my heart be lifted, may my thoughts be deepened, and may my soul, like the eagle, soar. We join together.
Can
Service this morning with gratitude for our bodies and our spirits and our minds and all of the pieces of us that are here and present with us this morning, ready to pray, ready to celebrate Shabbat, ready to think and engage and find meaning. And so we begin with that physical self. My body is a mystery, so strong, so fragile. It can suffer great pain, endure to reach triumph, but a small moment can bring collapse and death. Together, my body is a mystery, a gift of intricacy and beauty, powerful, endowed with the ability to take light and air and food and make them into energy and action. What then is my life? How then will I use this gift? I will thank you for your kindness and abundance. I will treasure the moments of strength and vigor. I will surrender to moments of weakness and distress. God, who provides sustenance and health, you are the source of life. Baruch atah Adonai, rofecho basar umafli la'asot. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously.
And now that we have given thanks for our physical selves, we give thanks for our spiritual selves, that piece of the divine that resides inside of each and every one of us, that helps us bloom and blossom like that sunflower in the corner of the slide. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehora hi. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Neshama, Shana Tatami, Shana Tatami, Tehorai, Tehorai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Neshama, Shana Tatabi, Shana Tatabi, Tehorai, Tehorai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Neshama, Shana Tatabi, Shana Tatabi, Tehorai, Tehorai. And now we take a moment to think about what are the blessings in our lives this past week. What are we looking forward to this upcoming week? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. For what are we thankful on this beautiful Shabbat morning? You can write them in the comments, and we will say Amen at the end before we go back to our prayer for our spiritual selves just one more time. So take a second and think about, what do you want to contribute on this Shabbat morning? All right, everyone, take one deep breath. Tehorai,
so we have said thank you for our physical selves. We have said thank you for our spiritual selves. We have said thank you for those things in our own personal lives for which we are recognizing the beauty this week. And it takes a little bit of work right now. And now we have these minds, these brains that allow us the opportunity to learn, even from those things that we didn't anticipate that we would learn. And so we say the blessing over our study of Torah. We join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. And so we read our Musar teaching of this week. We are in the middle of the love section, the love week. And as many of you know, we have this tradition of doing a little learning after we say the blessing over learning so that we can actualize that blessing. And we are working our way through this 365 days of teachings and practices of Musar by Alan Marinus. And so this week, our teaching is teaching 5 of love. And it says, love of all creatures is also love of God. For whoever loves the one loves all the works that God has made. When one loves God, it is impossible not to love God's creatures. The opposite is also true. If one hates the creatures, it is impossible to love God who created them. This is by Rabbi Yehuda Low from the 15th, 16th century. And so we're just going to pause on that for 1 second and think about what that means. Sometimes I think it's hard to understand the idea of loving God. That actually is this really big concept. And when we really get into it, God is sort of, incredibly, not sort of, but God is really hard to grasp, hard to understand, amorphous in our minds. And so how do you love something that you can't be sure of, or that you can't be sure what it looks like, or what it feels like, or what shape and iteration it's taking? It's hard to love in that way, to understand what that means. But I actually had, it's interesting when I was looking at this and trying to think, what does this really mean to me? Right? Sometimes, and we compare God to a parent all the time, but sometimes I think that I internalize this teaching in a parental way a lot when I'm thinking about my son and how we relate to each other, in the sense that, which is unfair actually, but in the sense that sometimes it feels really frustrating when I do things like make dinner and my kid doesn't want to eat doesn't want to eat dinner. I think, I made you this food to sustain you. This grilled cheese is going to keep you going. It's going to give you the vitamins and the nutrients and the energy that you need to live your best life. And he's like, I don't like grilled cheese today, when all he would eat for last week is grilled cheese, whatever it may be, right? And there's this feeling sometimes that I have that I really have to control, that feels like that's about me providing for his needs, not about the bread and cheese. And so I think that there's a piece of that in this teaching, right? If we love what God created, it's a display of love for God. And if we hate what God created, it's a display of how we aren't in that moment displaying our love for God. I wouldn't say hate, because I don't think that that's a translation really that makes sense. And so maybe the challenge here is also to take this teaching and to feel it and to know it, and then also to know when to separate it, right? Or maybe it's about respect more than the grilled cheese eating. If we say, no, thank you, this isn't my taste today, which we're really working on, it's a lot different than throwing the grilled cheese, which we're also working on, right? How do you convey that this is not what you want? How do you display love even in that? And so that's what I took from this teaching a little bit, that how we treat our world, how we treat the things that God has given us, how we treat these bodies that we're so grateful for in this moment. Perhaps all of our distancing and our mask wearing and our protecting each other and our protecting ourselves and our trying to stay healthy is actually an act of love for God, because God gave us these lives and these bodies. And when we respect them and care for them and protect them, it's an act of God, hard to say, and an act of love for God. So let's go to our phrase and our practice, and we'll read together at home along together. Our phrase is, love the one and love God's works. And our practice, Seek opportunities to give gifts to those whom you want to love more. Gifts of money, objects, time, caring, attention, and the like. And perhaps in this moment, grilled cheese. We read together, O Adonai, our God, let the words of Torah be sweet in our mouths and the mouths of your people Israel, so that we, our descendants, and the descendants of all your people Israel may know you by studying your Torah for its own sake. And we say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, who teaches Torah to your people Israel.
Thank you, Rabbi Hyatt, for that beautiful teaching. Anytime Neil wants to throw a grilled cheese toward our direction, totally fine. Happy to catch it. So we take all of the gratitude that we have expressed this morning for our physical selves, for our spiritual selves, and for our intellectual selves. All of that, and we combine it into this prayer, this last of all of the Psalms, Psalm 150, which reminds us that we praise God with every part of our bodies, with every piece of the world. Kol haneshama tehalelia, every breath praises God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. As we are able, physically or spiritually, as we prepare for our Baruch Hu.
ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei choshech, oseh shalom uvarei et hakol. Praised are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy, you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness, you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai! In wisdom, you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai our God, for the excellent work of your hands, for the lights you created, may they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hameorot. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and light blinded, we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us as we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. Praised are you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lebavcha v'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha, ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen.
The good in us will win over all the wickedness, over all the wrongs we have done. We will look back at the pages of written history and be amazed. And then we will laugh and sing, and the good that is in us, children in their cradles, will have won. We read together. Our hearts beat with certainty that there is a day and an hour in a mountain called Zion, and that all of the sufferings will gather there and become song, ringing out into every corner of the earth from end to end, and the nations will hear it, and like the caravans in the desert will all to that morning throng. Rise in support of Israel and redeem Judah and Israel as you promised. Our Redeemer, Adonai Tzvaot, is your name. Blessed are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
We take a moment now to rise physically or spiritually as we prepare for tefillah. Lai 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 lai, yai 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 lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotinu Imotenu, Elohei Avraham וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר, מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממיר ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זלזל ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כמותו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We take a moment now for Tefillat Halev, the prayers of our heart, our silent prayer. And so the words that are in your mind or in your heart, their time is now. We arrive now at our Torah service and the reading of the Torah. And we have a special guest with us via video this Shabbat to help us to learn about our Torah portion and also to do our Torah reading. It's a twofer, which is really exciting. So I'm really excited to introduce to you Stephen Palitz, who is going to first, as is our tradition, learn about our Torah reading before we read from it. Stephen is a wonderful member of our congregation. He and his wife Laura are really great and valued temple members, and we miss Harper, their daughter, who is one of our ELC students. So we miss seeing her and your family around the hallways, but we're so glad to learn from you, Stephen, this morning. And so I turn it over to Stephen to teach us about the Torah reading.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. In this week's Torah portion of Bahar B'chukotai, we are taught the lessons and commandments of how workers are to be treated. It is interesting to me that at the end of the Torah portion of Bahar, right after we finish learning about the commandments of how to treat those that work for us, God reminds us that we are his servants. Why is it so important to be reminded of and understand our relationship with God as we learn about how to treat those that work for us? When God took us out of Egypt, he rescued us from true slavery to Paro. And at Mount Sinai, we committed to becoming servants of God. And even though the same Hebrew word eved is used to describe the relationship of the Jewish people with God, as is used to describe the relationship of the Jewish people with Paro, our servitude to God is a blessing, whereas our slavery to Paro was one of the most challenging time periods in the history of the Jewish people. This is the importance of understanding what it means to be a servant to God, and that we are to treat our workers in the same way that God treated us after taking us out of Egypt. We didn't leave the slavery of Paro to become slaves to God. Rather, we received the blessing of being servants of God and learning the teachings and morals that the Torah shares with us. It is therefore not a coincidence that God reminds us of this relationship when teaching us how to treat workers. They are not to be treated as slaves, but workers are to be treated with dignity and respect. They should be paid a fair wage on time. That if you have food to eat, they should have food to eat. That if you have a roof over your head, they should have a roof over their head. That they should feel as if it is a blessing to be a worker for you, the way we are workers for God, not a curse as if they are enslaved by Paro. This is an important lesson to remember in this challenging time of COVID-19, when so many inside and outside of our community are struggling to make ends meet. We must not only treat others with dignity and respect, as God commands us in this week's Torah portion, but also make sure that we extend empathy to everyone around us in this trying time. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for those beautiful words and lesson. Very poignant and relevant things for us to be thinking about and to be remembering as we navigate this new world we're in. As we turn now to our Torah reading, we are going to have a couple of exciting people that are joining us. The first is Pippa Nelson-Book, who we are congratulating today. We're saying Mazel Tov on her original bat mitzvah date. She is now going to be celebrating becoming a bat mitzvah on October 3rd, but we are celebrating her original date right now today by having her do her aliyah and her Torah blessing this morning. We're so excited to have you with us and can't wait to actually celebrate the rest of your bat mitzvah with you in a few months. Stephen will be coming back in just a moment to read Torah for us. Our beloved Board of Trustees member Don Yale is with us to do the translation. We're so grateful, Don. Thank you. And then we'll close with the blessing back from Pippa. So I turn it over to all of those people for our Torah reading.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborach, Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Ba'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'chi yamuch achicha imach v'nimkar lach, lo ta'avod bo avodat aved, kesachir ketoshav yiyeh imach, ad shenat hayovel yavod imach, v'yatsa me'imach hu uvanav imo, v'shav el mishpachto, v'yel achuzat avotav yashuv, ki avadai heim, asher hotzeiti otam mi'eretz Mitzrayim, lo yemachru mimkeret aved, lo tirdevo befarech, v'yareta me'elohecha, v'yavdecha v'yamatcha, asher yiyulach, me'et hagoyim, asher sevivo techem, mehem tiknu eved v'yama, וגם מבני התושבים הגרים עמכם מהם תקנו וממשפחתם אשר עמכם אשר הולידו בארצכם והיו לכם לאחוזה והתנחלתם אותם לבניכם אחריכם לרשת אחוזה לעולם בהם תעבודו ובאחיכם בני ישראל איש באחיו lo tirdevo befarech.
If your kin under you continue in straits and must be given over to you, do not subject them to the treatment of a slave. Remaining with you as a hired or bound laborer, they shall serve with you only until the Jubilee year. Then they, along with any children, shall be free of your authority. They shall go back to their family and return to the ancestral holding. For they are my servants, whom I freed from the land of Egypt. They may not give themselves over into servitude. You shall not rule over them ruthlessly. You shall fear your God. Such male and female slaves as you may have, it is from the nations round about you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also buy them from among the children of aliens, resident among you, or from their families that are among you, whom they begot in your land. These shall become your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property for all time. Such you may treat as slaves, but as for your Israelite kin, no one shall rule ruthlessly over another.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Thank you so much to everyone that joined us this morning for Our Torah service, beautiful reading, Stephen. Thank you. Those are the that's the trope of my childhood. So I love hearing it. Pippa, that was so beautiful. We cannot wait to celebrate with you on the day of your actual celebrated bat mitzvah as we approach it, and to work with you and learn with you. It's going to be really exciting. And Don, as always, thank you for joining us and for that beautiful translation. I have deep library envy of your of your backdrop. It's just such a great library. So with that, it is with this specialness, the love and spirituality that we feel after hearing that Torah read, that we now transition into the Mishaberach, the prayer for healing, as we keep in our minds all of those who are in need of a little bit of extra love and prayer and healing this Shabbat.
And as we always do, in between the verses of this prayer, in which we ask for healing, we will read a list of names from our congregation who we hold in our thoughts and our minds. And if you have a name that you would like to contribute, please feel free to do that. When we get to that moment, you can write it in, and we will send the full force of all of our love toward each of these individuals. Let's try it in the right key, just for fun. That's so much better. Dear God of our ancestors, help us renew our faith. Grant us the perfect healing. Bring peace to all our days. Restore our strength of body. Help clarify our minds. Refresh our tired spirits. Rejuvenate our lives.
And we read this list of those that we know of that are in need of healing: Zachary Hoffman, David Karner, Larry Singer, David Lustig, Marcia Richter, Martin Indick, Kara Gluscoder, Paul Kamensky, Dr. Catherine McCallie, James Francis Clark, Michael Levy, Natalie Mosier, Corey Franklin, Julie Borodkin, Andy Friedman, Rabbi Jonathan Brown, Julie Horwich, Margaret Glubach, Dr. Howard Miller, Bob Connolly, Chaya Kayla Rubin, Shanti Hazan, Terry Dufresne, Harriet Saper, Robert Tucker, Sandra Heller, Jennifer Brynan, Lynn Pollitt, Sarah Ellen McIntyre, Neil Levin, Erwin Chaim, Arthur Gilbert, Wendy Weil, Estelle Gottesfeld, Mike Flanagan, Ben Levy, Iris Hoffman, Kathy Lutz, Jack Fisher, Stephanie Eisenstadt, Josh Goebel, Ken Siegel, Molly Lanfear, Michael Goffman, Gabrielle Blank, and Renee Cutler. And of course, we keep in our hearts and minds all of those that are on the front lines of fighting this virus, this pandemic, those that are in hospitals, those that are sick, those that are working to heal the sick and to keep us safe. We share gratitude for all of them and wish them enormous strength and healing. And of course, please type in those that you are praying for today too into the comments box so that we can share in praying for their healing with you as we join in song.
Thank you for all these blessings throughout our days and nights. We celebrate the journey, the precious gift of life.
Is our custom, we pause here for the counting of the Omer. And in case this is your first time counting the Omer, here's a little recap. We count every single day in between the holiday of Passover and the holiday of Shavuot, which is coming the last week of May. On Passover, we celebrate our freedom from slavery in Egypt. We call that redemption. And on Shavuot, we celebrate the receiving of the Torah at Sinai. We call that revelation. And the journey from redemption to revelation is the journey that we take in becoming a people. Because even though we're free when we get out of Egypt, we don't really know what we're doing until we get to Sinai and we gather together and get the instructions for what it means for us to be a people. And so each of those days from redemption to revelation, those 49 days that we count, has growth, has evolution. We are required to get just a little bit stronger as individuals and as people, to center ourselves, to grow. And so we've been reading this amazing book called Omer, Accounting, by Rabbi Cantor. And so I'm going to share with you the words of the book for today, for our reading today. And it says, "Man is afraid of things that cannot harm him, and he knows it. And he craves things that cannot help him, and he knows it. But actually, it is something within man he is afraid of, and something within man that he craves. When senseless hatred reigns on earth and men hide their faces from one another, then heaven is forced to hide its face. But when love comes to rule the earth and men reveal their faces to one another, then the splendor of God will be revealed." And that's Rabbi Cantor is using the words of Martin Buber, one of our great, more modern theologians and teachers. And so here's what Rabbi Cantor has to say about that. "Every now and then, we have to drill a hole in the bottom of the boat that keeps us afloat, simply because one should not chart a course carried by routine and complacency. And though the tumble and rumble of fundamental change is chaotic and alarming and hard and disruptive and so frightening, and though it goes against our natural instinct to protect and defend who we are and what we know at all costs, sometimes the cost of staying the same is simply too great, isn't it? To live in the routine of it all, bored, unactualized, is really hard, right? The courage you will need to drill the hole and the struggle you will experience to stay afloat will empower you, transform you, and enliven you. It will be like a birth out of the waters, a stronger, more vitalized person. Excellence, creative energy, passion, and a sense of purpose require something different. Remember, spiritual and intellectual growth sometimes is a journey of risk and courage. Sometimes you have to drill a hole in the boat that keeps you afloat." This is so real for us right now. And I would add to that, though I don't think that Rabbi Cantor had this quite in mind, sometimes you are forced to drill a hole in the boat that keeps you afloat because of circumstances in the world that you cannot control. I would say there have been a few holes drilled over the past couple of months, and we have been forced to adapt and to change in massive ways, some of which we don't appreciate and we cannot grow from, some of which we are growing enormously from. And I would say that the words that she used, the tumble and rumble of fundamental changes, chaotic and alarming and hard and disruptive and frightening, that has been very true. The last 8 weeks have had a lot of that, the chaos and the alarm and the frightening nature of what it is that we have had to adapt to. And yet we have discovered things about our lives and our routine and our usual behavior that has been really important for us to know. And for some of us, we'll never go back. And in some ways, we'll never go back. And then in some ways, we certainly will when we can find perhaps a third new routine that combines both the changes of these last 8 weeks and the beauty of what we had before we had to go to this. So my challenge to you in this counting and in this day of counting is to think really hard about the changes that you have been through in the last couple of months. What of them has been hard? Which of them have been tumbling and rumbling and chaotic and frightening? Which of them can you learn from? Which of them should you make sure that you don't ever forget? Because our journey this year from redemption to revelation is different than any other year before. Our revelation looks different. It will look different. And so we have to take note of what it is that we are experiencing. And so as we go to our blessing that we're going to read together, we're going to say together in just a moment over the counting of the Omer, we do so knowing that this counting is something that we are commanded to do. When we say Asher Kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, that means that this is something that is, it is that we are commanded to do each day in this journey, is to stop and reflect and grow. So we read the blessing together in Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has sanctified us with your commandments and commanded us to count the Omer. And now we acknowledge what day of the Omer it is. Hayom shisha asar yom shehem shnei shavuot u'shnei yamim le'omer. Today is 16 days, which is 2 weeks and nope, that is not right. It's not 16 days. I don't know off the top of my head what day it is. Cantor Sex, do you? Here she comes. Today is the 39th day of the Omer, it turns out. We have the wrong slide in, but that's okay. Today is the 39th day. I was like, oh my God, we're going back in time. This is what's quarantine reality now. It is the 39th day of the Omer, which means we're getting closer and closer to Shavuot, which we will talk about in just a moment. And we go now to the Aleinu as we get prepared to conclude our service.
Great job, Rabbi Hyatt. Thanks. Aleinu l'shaveach l'adon hakol לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
And as we move into our moment of memory, how we end each service remembering and thinking about those who are no longer with us, we do so knowing, as we're reflecting on the last 2 months, because that's about how long it's been now since our world turned upside down. Well, there's a lot of losses that we have had in the last 2 months, both those from the circumstances of the virus and those that are completely independent. But we know that each of those losses has looked a little different than it would have had we been living in our old world, and that we've grieved differently and we've mourned differently and we've gathered differently. And I think there's what to learn from that too. Hopefully, if you are one of those that has gone through a loss, that has grieved the passing of someone, in the last 2 months, you have found your community around you in ways that you did not anticipate or that you were not expecting. And so, as is our custom, we acknowledge all of those who we have lost, those that have left us in the last week: Sheila Ginsberg, Nell Tossig Levy, and Daniel Lippman. Those who we have lost in the last month, the last 30 days: Clayton Clark, Ira Cohen, Selma Cohen, Merrill Emmett, Genevieve Fangold, David Justman, Barbara Manis, Donald Spiegelman, and Ralph Titcomb. And those for whom this Shabbat marks the yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing at this time in years past: Edith Abelson, Irma Rose Barnett, Sylvia Sissy Bellstock, Naomi Ray Bennett, Irving Blecker, Sylvia Davis Bosco, Bertha Brooks, Sarah B. Cohan, Nettie Cohen, Noah Warren Cohen, Nina Davidson, Joseph S. Dreyfus, Harold E. Pand, G. David Epstein, William Fiddleson, Amanda R. Flesher, Harry Freeman, Jerry H. Friedman, Max Gerstley, Fanny Goodman, Charles Greenclay, Ben Gewirtz, Nehemiah Heyman, Arthur Huss, Abraham L. Jacobson, Bruce Katchen, Ann R. Cantor, William N. Klein, Bertha H. Kleiner, Irving A. Kornfeld, Henry Kubitschek, Bertha Langer, John M. Levy, Dora Lindner, Eva S. Melnick, Ruth Weichman Metzler, Jean Cohn Neufeld, Shirley R. Neustetter, Pauline Olkovich, Rena Podal, Pauline P. Reese, William Bill Rodman, Marion L. Rose, Michael David Schatz, Abe Scheuer, Leo Schulman, Muriel Schwader, Bertha Simons, Sadie L. Snyder, Fanny Spire, Harry Steinberg, Clarence E. Stern, Jack Sinberg, Judith W. Stone, Herman G. Strauss, Hi Tucker, Fanny L. Weicker, Edna W. Wolgamuth, Bertha N. Wolf, and Edward Yabrov. And we add to that list 10 of the names of those that were lost in the city of Kolín in Czechoslovakia in World War II, for whom our Fine Chapel is dedicated: Rudolf Fischer, Sasha Fischer, Hedvika Fischera, Edita Fischerova, Elsa Fischerova, Evgeny Fischerova, Katerina Fischerova, Marta Fischerova, Olga Fischerova, and Sonia Fischerova. And so it is with those names in our minds, as well as any others that you have put into our comments box on Facebook, on this Facebook feed, or those that are in your hearts or in your minds, that we join together in the ancient words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'yimru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Ulealmei Almaya. Let me give our slides just a second to catch up. We're on the slide that says Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'yimru, Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. Oseh shalom v'mromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu va'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen.
Shalom in Roma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei Tel ve'yimru.
A few announcements before we conclude our service. We have religious school this Sunday. We will be convening our virtual classroom, so watch your emails for the details for each of your individual grades. Shavuot is, as we were just talking about, is May 28th. We are having this amazing community celebration from 5 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. on, that's Thursday, May 28th, I believe. And we are going to engage together in a night of communal learning that is taught by the best educators in our community. There will be a variety of sessions throughout the evening and night, as well as a special young family program, so check that out. There's going to be a teen track, and we're going to have a great communal worship experience, which is going to be, I think, really special, because it's not just us having worship with our own community, but all kinds of people across the Denver and Colorado Springs community. And we're really excited to celebrate with everyone and learn with everyone. We have a 7 p.m. special panel, a plenary that everybody will be invited to together, called Torah to Live By, moderated by Dr. Julie Lieber, with guest panelists Adam Brock, Ellen Hutt, and Dr. Richard Sachs. And that should be really cool. We're really lucky to be able to learn from all of those people. And then there will be lots of different tracks that you can opt into, individual Zoom links with individual teachers, clergy from across the community, and experts who are going to be teaching. So we're really excited for that. And finally, we are going to have our mitzvah day, as we always do in May. It is going to be May 31st, and it's a day dedicated to Tikkun Olam from home. There's information up already on our Facebook page, so check it out and find out how you can get involved in doing some good work from home, because coming together to do mitzvot does not mean that we have to physically be together. We can still do that. And I think that's it in terms of our announcements, except to remind you that we'll be gathering together for Havdalah today at 7 p.m. right back here on Facebook. So we'll see you in just a little while as we steward Shabbat out. But for now, let's sing some songs of peace.
Sounds great. So we are going to sing a song of praise and a song of song. Hava Nashira Shir Hallelujah. Let us sing a song of praise to God. 4 simple words, but we can infuse wherever we are on this Shabbat, wherever emotional space we are, whatever we need to put into this melody, to put into these words. Let us sing out so that we can hear each other from across our rooftops and through our windows on this beautiful day. Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir
Kol Dorotenu, to the God of this generation and every generation. We thank you as always for the opportunity to pray together, to sing together, to be together, to find gratitude together, to learn together this morning, this Shabbat. We read from Rabbi Kedar that these changes have been tumultuous and frightening, and yet it is amazing that we have been able to find routine even in the tumult. And this has become routine, this praying together from a distance. And though we look forward to the moments when we can be together in person, this has become incredibly powerful to me, and I know to our community and our clergy team. And so we thank you for the science and the internet and the Zoom that allows us to be together and pray together even from our own homes. And may we have a week of peace. May we have a week of blessing and healing. And we wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom.